Okay, so I've decreased down until 10 stitches. I decided that 8 was too few and that it was getting way too difficult to knit. And so there's my 10 stitches, and I'm going to cut a pretty lengthy tail, probably about 10 inches. Cut both yarns, and then you're going to take your darning needle and then just take, with this one, since we're just going through all of the yarns, we can use both, and they've kind of twisted up on their own, and so just thread both of them through, and then starting with your next stitch, just slip purlwise all the way around. This is just like decreasing for the top of a hat and just gathering up all of your stitches together, and then pull through. And then we're going to do the same for this needle. So again, just purl, slip the stitches purlwise, purl across, and then pull the rest of your yarn through, tighten it up, and now we need to weave in all of our ends. So we have the ones from the very beginning, the ones from the very end, we have where we started our thumb and where we finished our thumb. So I'm going to start from the top and work down. So first I need to turn this mitten inside out, and there's all of our beautiful floats on the inside, and then there's the back of Jack's face. And so I already pulled the black yarn from earlier through, however I did not pull the white yarn through. So first I'm just going to weave in the black yarn. So thread up your tapestry needle or dull blunt needle, and these floats make it very easy to weave in all of our ends. So from the very top, I'm just going to weave under the floats at the very top. So I just like to do a little kind of mock stitch, up and down, up and down. And since it's on the inside of the mitten, it does not have to be perfect. You could even go all the way down if you wanted to. I'm just gonna go around, make a few little tucks, not really tucks, just kind of mock stitches through these little floats so that I can secure my yarn. So I'm just gonna make one right there, and then I'm going to make a knot. So I'm just gonna get through these next two like so, and then before I pull all the way through, I want to catch that loop and make a little knot. Now I can go back through that same loop, make another loop, and catch another loop to make a very secure knot. And then we're just going to cut this like so, and there's our first end woven in. I'm going to leave the one on the outside for now so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth between everything. So this one, since there's two right next to each other, I just like to tie a simple knot. You don't want to pull too tight or else it's going to pull all of your yarn. Just make a simple knot and then thread up your tapestry needle. And if they're too much of a different length, cut them back to the same length. So just snip. And you can weave in two yarns at the same time. So just make sure that they're on track with each other, and then weave through these floats. I'm just going to go through these white ones on the back. Keep catching that black one. So just kind of go through and catch a few floats like that, And since I already tied this one in a knot and it's woven through those floats, I can just snip it. That was a little too much. About right there. And then pull it and it should stay in place. Okay, so for the bottom ones, those ones are on the inside. We're just going to leave those for now. So we're just going to thread them both at the same time. Nope, didn't quite get it. Just thread them at the same time. Oh, I forgot to tie my knot first. See, if you have two, tie your knot first and they're almost guaranteed to never come out. So tie your little knot and then thread your tapestry needle like so. And then this is very easy too because we did our corrugated rib at the bottom. So we can go through our black floats. Just go up through the black floats. You want to make sure that you're very careful not to catch any of the black bars of the purl stitches from earlier, because then it will show on the other side of your work. Just go through a few more. And then pull down. Oh. And then you can cut this one. And that one's going to stay there too. And now let's flip our mitten back to the outside. And now we have the very top of our thumb to do and our white yarn. So I'm going to start with our white yarn. I'm just going to thread a tapestry needle, and I'm going to take it to the inside of our mitten. So that little hole, here, let me let it focus. That little hole right there is where we want to poke back in, and then turn our mitten back inside out. You want to make sure that the tapestry needle is not poking anything else. So go back through to the other side and then pull the white yarn through. Okay, so now we're just going to take this and do exactly what we did with the black yarn and just pull through some of those little bars that we made, floats, and just keep pulling through some of them. Right now I'm just doing kind of a whip stitch motion and going through some of the random little bits. And then you can go back through like so and then kind of make a little knot like that. And then make one more just for double security. Oh, lost our little loop. Right there. Okay, pull that nice and tight with your thumbnail, and then you can cut this. And now we need to do the last one, which is the top of our thumb. So I'm just turning my mitten back right side out, like so, and then thread up a tapestry needle with both yarns. And then what I like to do is, you'll see there's like a little star kind of thing going on here. You want to go into the center of that star and then turn your mitten wrong side out again. So I'm just pulling that straight through. And now that makes a nice little star. Let it focus. See, nice little star right there. And we're just going to turn our mitten wrong side out again. And this time we also want to make sure that our thumb is wrong side out as well, so that we can weave in our ends into the thumb. So there's our thumb inside out. And taking our tapestry needle, we just want to go down through some of these floats right here. Just kind of go down through the thumb. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's the inside. And just kind of secure it however you need to. There's no really set rules of how to weave in ends. So I just kind of like to go into whatever feels like it won't come out. Like maybe I'll pick this bar right here and then make a knot. And then, since we have our double yarn, we can make a knot right here that really won't come out. Just separate them. Oh, they got all tangled here. Okay. And then just make a simple knot. And then you can cut the end of your thumb. Not the end of your thumb, you want to cut the woven end of your thumb. You don't want to cut the end of your thumb, that would be detrimental to your mitten. And then turn it right side out. Got a little hole there, but we can fix that. If you have any holes where your thumb once was, or where it went, all you need to do is take a little piece of yarn, cut off a piece that's kind of long. I'm going to use black in this instance. And then thread up your tapestry needle. And I'm just going to do kind of a stitch it together kind of thing. So I'm just going to go into the thumb and go in between these two stitches right here. Hold on. In between these two stitches. And actually I want to go underneath, because then it won't show when we've gone through the entire thing. So we want to go underneath everything here and go right where we started our thumb. Okay, so now we have, let's see, there's holes right there. We have our tapestry yarn, and we're just going to kind of make a little almost zigzag motion right here to close this. You're almost making mock stitches as you go up. And it really only takes 2 or 3 to close a hole. And then you can't even see it once it's done, because it's going to be in between your thumb. So I just like to do almost like some reinforcing stitches there too, because this is the part of the mitten that's going to get the most love. And so just do a few little turnarounds right there. And then go back through them, and that'll make a somewhat secure knot. Sorry, this is kind of hard to see. Go around that, make sure it's not wrapping around your thumb. Go through those, and then go back into your mitten, turn it inside out again. And then we're just going to weave this end in too. So to do that, again, just turn it inside out and figure out where you need to put your stitches. And if you made sure not to pull your little piece too far through, you can just make a little knot here, and it'll hold it just perfectly. Now, closing holes in knitting, it's kind of a difficult process and something different works for every